5 games remaining on the schedule. The Sixers have lost 10 in a row, and the tank is in full effect. But that is the least of our concerns today as the drama continues. Nick Nurse potentially left out of the loop on Tyrese Maxey's injury. What? That's weird. Also, Marcus Morris doubles down on Daryl Morey, and this time he went even deeper. You don't want to miss what he had to say. And is the Sixers front office trying to force Joel Embiid to play through an injury? If this stuff is true, we might be headed towards a trade request. We'll talk about it all, but welcome in to Philly Take with RB. For somehow, some reason, something, we still cover this team every single day. And ladies and gentlemen, here is the draft lottery updated after last night's game. The Sixers lose to the Bucks. It was closer than we had expected, but Giannis went crazy, and the Sixers are once again now a game and a half behind New Orleans, who plays the Lakers tonight. Lakers lost to the Warriors last night. Luka Doncic not looking so hot. Could they pull off the upset, New Orleans? Please do it for us. Sixers have lost 10 in a row. They are trying to get up to that number 4 spot. And we need to talk about another tanking team, a.k.a. the 76ers, because, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Nurse was ejected from the game last night. And I will be honest with you, it was probably the most plain ejection that I have ever seen in sports in my entire life. Nick Nurse got a tech on the play before. He had, said something about, I think it was in a Dembona play or foul or something like that. And on the next possession down the floor, Nick Nurse, I guess, says something very quietly to the ref. He kind of just turned his shoulder, and then you see the ref do the "you're out of here" motion, and Nick Nurse didn't even fight him. He just walked off, and it kind of was a visual representation of the Sixers' life and the Sixers' season. Like, he really did not care. He looked sad. He looked so disinterested. He looked like he honestly didn't even care. And he just strolled back to the locker room. He got little kids trying to high-five him, didn't even look at anybody. Here's what Nick Nurse had to say about his ejection last night and why he got it.
Bona blocked a shot. They called a goaltend. I looked up on the screen, and then after I saw it, I was like, I did a wave, and the ref at the other end, JB, I guess saw me do the wave. That was the first one. And then when Mitchell walked by me, and the second time I said, "Open your eyes," and got my second tee.
So he got ejected for saying, "Open your eyes." That's kind of soft in my opinion. But if you just look at his body language, just listen to him all season, it kind of feels like the end of his tenure in Toronto, where he just did not care and he was just showing up to work like a 9 to 5 every day. Now, he did talk about a Dembona. Shout out to a Dembona. Just a little bit on this, man. He had a breakout game last night. We've been calling all season for Nick Nurse to play a Dembona, but for some reason, Sixers coaches have troubles playing young centers, and I just don't understand why. He looked incredible. Yes, Giannis had a game. That was a lot of it, started ignited by Colin Castleton. I mean, we are at the point here in early April where we're playing Colin Castleton, a tank commander who's bouncing around to tanking teams, but nonetheless, I thought a Dembona played with poise. He was the only guy screaming, punching the air, going crazy after buckets. Everybody else just looks disengaged. But Bona's the type of player, he's going to go out there, leave it on the line every game, no matter the record, no matter the circumstance. And I really appreciated his efforts, and I think he's going to be a good piece for a long time, at least, as a rotation piece with this Sixers team, if they give him the opportunity, though. Now, let's talk about Nick Nurse again, but in the context of a superstar, right? We got this update yesterday. I've been telling you all this is going to happen, right? Nick Nurse was teasing the idea of Maxey coming back, and, he's practicing this and that. Shams makes it official yesterday. Maxey is out for the rest of the season with a finger tendon injury, right? They were not bringing Maxey back. They're trying to tank. That's obvious. But here's the thing that really gets me, and we know that there's never good communication with the Sixers team. They're very vague, no clarity, no transparency. But Nick Nurse shows up before the game, and they ask him about Maxey being ruled out for the season. And here is what he had to say about it.
Obviously the other night, you said Tyrese was kind of a day-to-day thing. Report because I was expected to be out for the season. I guess, was there something after that workout or something where you guys were like, oh, we might as well just kind of call it?
Well, first of all, he's just out for this evening, right? That's again, I think we talked about. He had to work out. He did have another workout. Again, I think I mentioned before, the first one didn't go that great. He had another one. He did receive more imaging as well, but our medicals just told me he's out for tonight.
Okay.
So just for clarification.
Yo, I think we're at the point, honestly, if I'm keeping it 100, where Nick Nurse is going to be stepping down at the end of the season. He's had enough of this. I mean, there's been so many instances in one season where this level is not seeing eye to eye with this level, which is not seeing eye to eye with this level. They have no communication. And if you're going to tell me that Nick Nurse is trying to fool everybody and tell us that Maxey's only out for this game so that the NBA doesn't get mad and investigate the Sixers, whatever, save it. That's a load of crap. Because when Shams puts out a report, we know it's official. Shams is the ESPN NBA reporter who has the inside info. We know that Maxey is done for the season, right? So honestly, I don't think this is Nick Nurse trying to play it off. I think that things are just so dysfunctional that the medical staff told Nick Nurse he's only out tonight, but then everybody else is saying he's out for the season. And Daryl Morey doesn't talk to Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse doesn't talk to Josh Harris. I don't think these guys communicate. I think they're just so mad and just so disconnected with where this season is going that we have a star player who has been ruled out for the season and the coach hasn't been informed of it. The Sixers have not been on the same page all season, and it's weird. It really, really is weird. I think Nick Nurse is going to step down. What do you think? Another guy that might be on his way out is Joel Embiid. And I hate to say it, but Shams goes on First Take and he reports that Joel Embiid and the Sixers front office have had tensions. This is something to keep in mind after the team and Embiid had different views on treating the left knee. One thing to keep in mind is that there was some tension between Embiid and the front office. The team believed that he needed to play at some point. He felt like he needed surgery. Now, we heard a similar report 2 months ago where Joshua Harris apparently had to be the guy that Embiid went to. He surpassed Daryl Morey because I guess Morey looked at spreadsheets and wanted him to play based on probability. I don't know. But Embiid went straight to the ownership and told them how he was feeling because I guess there wasn't that level of trust with Daryl Morey. So honestly, it's starting to feel like Daryl Morey might be gone. I think Daryl might be fired after the season, but I'm starting to think that Joel Embiid might request a trade. If we elaborate a little bit more from Shams, the Sixers and Joel Embiid explored radical options for his left knee, including treatments that would have kept him sidelined into next season. They met for a month and a half with tons of doctors, specialists, trying to figure out exactly where this goes. They looked at radical options that included options that would have sidelined him for next season too. So, ladies and gentlemen, the writing is on the wall. Like, this is going to have to be a divorce eventually, and it sucks. I mean, I've said it countless times. It really does suck. But I'm starting to wonder if the one superstar, Joel Embiid, who doesn't request trades, who never has in a day and age where everybody wants out all the time, is sick of this and is sick of a medical staff that can't even keep anybody on the damn team healthy all year, and he's ready to say, you know what, I've had enough. Let's give it one more shot. Let's see if my knee can get better. Send me to another organization that can handle this differently. I'm tired of this. I go to my GM. He wants me to play. I don't feel like I can play. Then again, when we talk about culture, right? You played in the Olympics. You shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have let you do that. Everything is just so chaotic. This organization is run so horribly right now. And to cap it off, we have Marcus Morris, who doubles down on his comments about Daryl Morey. This time, though, he says that he doesn't hold his superstars accountable and that nobody helps Joel Embiid with dieting, staying in shape. And to be fair, as I said here in my tweet, it does sound like Marcus Morris is still salty, right? He said that Morey traded him for a bag of chips a couple weeks ago, and Morey doesn't know what he's doing roster building wise, uses AI. It sounds like Morris is still mad about that. But some of these things, I think, speak to a higher issue that we've heard for a long time, and that's that there's nobody at the top to set the tone. They don't have a culture. They let stars come in, do whatever they want, walk around like they are the people, and they can't be touched. Big egos, right? And if we're still here, now again, Joel Embiid did show up this year a lot lighter. He said he was, 20 pounds lighter? He looked it, but he wasn't healthy. And I just think that the Sixers ownership and the front office just don't set the tone. And it's why there's this weak culture and why guys do whatever they want. And even there was a Pat Bev clip that came out today where he was kind of saying the same thing, how the ownership doesn't really have that touch with the players and they trade people and no continuity and things like that. So, yeah, I just think there is a trouble here when it comes to leadership and culture. And, essentially he just said that Joel needs to be held accountable because he called him one of the greatest talents he's ever seen when he was with this team last year, and that was without doing anything to keep his body in shape. So maybe there are different interpretations of this story, but once again, we hear slander on Daryl Morey. Apparently some of the players don't like how he goes about business, and maybe Joel Embiid is starting to get a taste of that as well. And he's like, you know what? I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't like it. And maybe that's the best thing for both parties. But then again, can you actually put together a deal based on where his value is the next, 4 years of his contract? It is a disaster. It is an absolute disaster. And I think Nick Nurse might step down. I think Daryl Morey might be gone. And I think Joel Embiid is getting to the point where he is frustrated. But does it matter if the same ownership group lies in place? Those are questions that I guess we'll find the answers to very soon. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.